Most of you know by now that WIT Studios will be leading production of a new reboot anime series for One Piece titled The One Piece. Very creative title here. But until today, nobody knew the reason for the reboot. We finally have word from WIT Studios president George Wada on why they decided to reboot and remake the One Piece anime. So on July the 2nd, we got our first glimpse into the reasoning for why Toei Animation, in partnership with WIT Studios, is rebooting the One Piece anime. And I think everyone always knew why, and basically confirmed with the president of WIT Studios, George Wada, coming out and saying, quote, "We're making the One Piece anime to reach a wider audience. Many hesitate to watch the current series because of its old 4x3 format and the high number of episodes. We're addressing these issues in the remake." Personally, I remember the news when this first dropped that the One Piece existed and that there was a group of people out there saying there isn't a point to remake the series at all, especially pre-time skip, because East Blue and its following arcs and sagas have been remade in some form or fashion over and over through the years. Think about it, we get anniversary remakes with reanimated key scenes so they can use them for flashbacks in the current anime series, and they recently just readapted the East Blue saga in the One Piece live action season 1 and are starting on season 2 officially. So there was some sentiment out there that this series didn't need the remake and it should start post-time skip because these arcs aren't nearly as covered in terms of getting updated animation every couple of years, which there is a point to that. However, I think many One Piece fans, including myself, are used to the anime and don't tend to notice how out of date the current anime is when it comes to more subtle but key aspects of its presentation. While the current animation has changed pretty drastically with Wano and Egghead, adopting better pacing and way better animation, they are still using sound effects from a sound library that dates back to at least the early 80s. Seriously, these sound effects have been used in countless retro anime that have existed decades before One Piece was even created, let alone started airing. Many people aren't privy to this, as not everyone wants or has interest to go back and watch old episodes of anime. But most notably, these sound effects are noticed by people who maybe have seen both One Piece and Dragon Ball Z, as both series use the exact same sound library and are animated by the same studios. If you want to feel like Gear 5 Luffy, then may I recommend some Jujutsu Kaisen Energy or Meat Canyon's raw meat flavors? Whether caffeine or caffeine-free, I wholeheartedly recommend Gamer Subs. Use code C-Tactics to get 10% off all orders site-wide. Thank you to Gamer Subs for being a partner. So one of the key reasons this anime needs to exist is that it will finally get rid of and update the old sound effects to something more modern. But another is, as George Wada points out, is the aspect ratio of 4x3, which was used in One Piece for a majority of its early TV run. For those not familiar, 4x3 is an aspect ratio used on old TVs, as widescreen was barely adopted or used at all until maybe the late 90s and at best mid-aughts, and finally being adapted universally by the late aughts. So the reason you see those black bars in old One Piece episodes is because it was meant to fit the old screen of old tube TVs, and the reason it looks so bad and low resolution is because the series was meant and made for lower resolutions, 480p and below, as 480p was the standard for quite some time by that point. Throughout the years, I've had countless younger people in my Discord server and in my community tell me that they can't watch old anime, not just One Piece, because of those black bars. While I think that's ridiculous personally, it's still a barrier to entry for some younger generations to watch this stuff with black bars because it looks old, outdated, and is pretty jarring going from 16:9 or 16:10 on your phone and seeing One Piece in 4:3 on a phone with an extra wide aspect ratio. If you haven't tried try it now. I guarantee you it'll be jarring to many of you. So with the One Piece, WIT can go in and make One Piece for modern resolutions in formats like 16:9 and 4K resolutions. That means that not only will we be getting animation like Attack on Titan for One Piece, but it should finally look modern and more in line with the original manga. But I think the biggest win out of this news for any fan of One Piece is George Wada finally announcing that they will be cutting down on the number of episodes and making the pace quicker in the One Piece. Currently, in One Piece's anime, there are over 1,000 episodes, and many anime-onlys may not even know about this, but a lot of that is anime original content, or literally slowed down scenes from the manga, amongst many other techniques, to artificially lengthen the episodes. Often Toei Animation, the people who currently are producing the anime, will take, in some instances, 1 or 2 panels from the One Piece manga and make them into extra long segments by reusing flashbacks from past episodes or flashback sequences from earlier in the exact same episode among anime original content, or by simply slowing down the scene to a halt to fill 24 minutes of runtime. This is another reason why people also said pre-time skip One Piece doesn't need a remake, as for the most part the pacing for the earlier episodes, while having some of these pitfalls, isn't nearly as egregious as what it is like currently in the anime. One Piece fans considered this such a bad thing that fans from all over the world are currently producing a massive fan and community project where they take episodes of One Piece and cut out all of the filler and sometimes literally speed scenes up. This is how I am currently watching the series in my Discord server with my community, and this project is known as One Piece. The goal behind it is to recut the series to make it as identical to the original manga, and currently One Piece is pretty much completed editing everything and is just under 400 episodes in total, which is less than half of the 1,000 episodes of the official anime. The kicker here is I think many people will be surprised to find that One Piece will most likely still be significantly longer in episode count than what the One Piece will ultimately have. The reason for this is because One Piece generally covers 2 chapters per episode, and I kid you not, even with editing and recutting and speeding up scenes, some arcs of One Piece on average come out to be over 40 minutes in length. For example, I just finished Whole Cake Island through One Piece, and a majority of the episodes in that arc were over 30 minutes on average, and the episode count for that arc, 31 episodes. I'd probably say that most arcs will be much shorter than people are likely anticipating, and the series will be further along and finish much sooner than we think, just because the pacing will be in line with modern anime. But I saw this as a golden opportunity to go to my community tab and make a post regarding this announcement, and I asked you guys one question: is this what you want from a One Piece remake? And the responses were pretty telling. That's me, because I'm sorry, 1,000+ episodes and still going, the fillers, and I heard about the pacing at times. My sister loves the show, and I'm sure they have recap episodes throughout the hundreds of episodes, but I would have to start from the beginning. Who has time for that? Not me. I'll pass. So, with the remake, I might finally be able to give the show a chance. This is then generally followed up with the same sentiment with these comments here, give or take. And honestly, this is the bulk of the comments that were left on the community tab post. So it seems that most people, old and new to One Piece, seem very excited and genuinely happy that this series is getting a remake, and they think they need it so it can capture not only their attention, but the wider anime fandom. Although, I thought this comment was kind of funny, because if this user is watching the video now, they just learned about the One Piece fan project, which is literally what this comment says. You could skip the filler. Wouldn't a One Piece Kai style re-edit be cheaper? Just an idea. Yes, as a straight up OP simp, I cannot recommend the anime for several reasons. The pacing, the filler episodes that can be skipped, the baked in filler that cannot be skipped, the awful animation for 95% of the show, the even worse sound design that still uses ancient low quality sound effects that predate OG Dragon Ball, and the abundant censorship. As a whole, it is a terrible adaptation with good bits. The One Piece is needed. I mean, Trevor basically summed up a lot of my opinions on why this remake is needed, and also some others I forgot about. So, the One Piece has an opportunity to fix all of that. So let me know in the comments below, what do you think about the statements from George Wada on the One Piece's reason for existing? Do you still think they shouldn't adapt pre-time skip? Do you even care? Also, if you're new to One Piece by chance, will you be checking out the One Piece and watch it weekly? Thank you for watching, and remember, stick together and take care of each other.